All right. Let's get into New Orleans. Which is a team that Andy Dalton may or may not play on, according to the Wolf. He's not in your projections. I'll tell you that.
Chart. Yeah, he's there. See, look at that, Andy Dalton.
Wow, and you got Andy Dalton as your QB3. That is some veteran leadership in the locker room.
Oh yeah,
good.
And
for
then
them.
you got the Jameis Winston effect too. I mean, what a locker room.
Right, and then Taysom Hill. Who knows what the fuck he's like?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'll rip through this team really quickly. -30 at league average. That's kind of what we saw last year with Winston at quarterback. You'd think a gunslinger who led the league in passing just a couple of years ago, they kind of uncorked Drew Brees level type of just airing it out. And no, he took under 20 pass attempts in over half of his games, which was just kind of maddening to me. So Winston was a guy that I had higher in my rankings that just really came out pretty poorly in my projections based on how he was used last year. Now, this could be a new offense. There's no Sean Payton, but I don't necessarily think no Sean Payton's a good thing for him. What he did do a lot of, though, was throwing touchdowns. And that's what Jameis always does. Well, he also cut down on his interceptions a lot. So there is a ceiling here. You know, when you get to that like Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston range, I'll go with Jameis 10 out of 10 times just because I like him better. Even though Daniel Jones actually came out a little bit better in my projections, I'd rather be rooting for Jameis Winston. But the pie just is not going to be big aerial-wise, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be spread out to a lot of mouths with Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, a player I love, Jarvis Landry. I mean, a low-volume pie with those type of mouths is a tricky situation to really squeeze value out of. The thing is with Kamara, I projected him for missing 6 games. They're saying he's going to miss.
And this is because he beat somebody up at the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, that whole thing. So I have him still projected pretty good for playing only 11 games here. 10 touchdowns in 11 games, 1,100 yards in only 11 games. He's the type of guy in best ball that he's falling to round 3 now.
He's a great best ball pick.
I am going all in on that round 3 price because I can get Mark Ingram in round 14, 15. And yeah, no, he's not. I get it. He's not Alvin Kamara, but he averages well over 15 points per game when he starts in Alvin Kamara's place. Like he can be a decent enough placeholder that you get to those 6 games. The last 2 teams I drafted, truth, literally the same first 3 rounds. It went Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara. And I was like, I'll do this the rest of the offseason if you want me to, because that is just the juiciest amount of horses. So I really like Kamara for his per game clip. I know he's going to probably miss 4 to 6 games. But then there is the chance that what if it just kind of gets delayed till next year and then you get all of those games at Kamara?
Right. Then you're just getting this guy as a 3rd rounder who's a 1st rounder.
It's just sickening potential value. The receivers are really tricky because, like I mentioned, Thomas, Landry, Olave, I really like all the talents. And as you can see, 112 for Thomas, 107 for Landry, 102 for Olave.
Do you remember how – I mean, I'm asking a stupid question here because, of course, you remember. Do you remember how awesome Mike Thomas was? Doesn't that seem like 5 years ago?
What was it, 190 targets and he caught like 85% of them. It was insane.
Yeah, he was unstoppable, and we were all over that too. We've been
in on the Mike Thomas train, which is why it's so tricky for me. This route, he's posting videos of him running routes. It seems like he's going to be healthy, but like he could catch 120 balls this year, or he could not touch the field, and neither one would surprise me any less than the other. Like
that's extremely well said. Yeah,
it's
exactly the same way. It's so tantalizing. I compare it. I might have even done this on a past podcast. It's like the Josh Gordon thing.
Yeah.
You're chasing that buzz.
Yeah.
Because, man, that buzz was incredible. If you had that guy on your team, he's getting like 200 balls thrown at him and he's catching all of them.
Exactly.
Like, you're just like, yeah, this guy. We thought he was going to be like the best receiver in fantasy for like 6 years. Or something like moving forward. And it's like, then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm not playing. And we didn't even believe it. We're like, there's no way this guy's not going to play.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, I consider the Saints receivers very, very hard to assess.
It's so hard, but it is historically been a very good offense that was with Drew Brees and not Jameis Winston. But we've seen Winston sustain, monsters.
Yeah, but like everything's different. These are all, there's no Sean Payton. There's no Drew Brees. Like, we don't know about Mike Thomas. We don't know about Alvin Kamara. Like, who the fuck knows how any of this is going to shake out? Like,
it's wild. I have
no idea. I would say maybe the most hard team to predict, maybe in the whole NFL.
Exactly. I will say, though, I'm drafting them because I do think at least a couple receivers will come out of here pretty viable, especially in the games that Kamara misses. I'm a really big fan of Olave, the rookie out of OSU.
You do like him.
He might be my favorite rookie receiver in this class. other than Drake London. I really, really like Olave. They really like him. They're comparing him to Marvin Harrison at practice because of how much separation he's gaining and how smooth his routes are. He gets to learn from Landry, who's a great veteran presence. Maybe Mike Thomas is there. If Mike Thomas just like disappeared, as much as I love the player, like maybe he gets traded or go. Imagine he goes to the Packers. Oh my God!
I was going to say the Chiefs.
Or the Chiefs, right? Exactly. You give an alpha like that. Oh, like that would be my dream scenario.
That would be incredible. Do you think Antonio Brown's going to end up somewhere?
He's already kind of come out and said, "I'm not playing." He said he's not going to have surgery till a team signs him, and then nobody's
in the world would anybody sign a guy who needs surgery who's insane. Do you think that's like his way of like of them being like, "You're fired," and him being like, "No way, I quit."
Right. Exactly. Okay. That's a great way to put it. So yeah, I mean, the guess that one saving grace to all the ambiguity is I do see all of them seeing over 100 targets and over 20% share, and I do think Winston can chuck it enough that that's going to be enough damage for Olave to have 8 touchdowns, 864. Like I see some juice. So I have landed Landry and Olave. Particularly Landry goes like around 12 or so. In a PPR league, he could really be a monster. So it also maybe all three of them just kind of suck and are inconsistent if they're all playing. So it is.
That's extremely likely.
But I'm taking my stabs though. It's a team that I'm.
I love watching Jameis. I'm a Jameis fan, even though I shouldn't be. I mean, he seems like he's probably like a dirtbag and stuff, but I love pulling for him and watching him. And I just don't really believe in him super much.
We forgot. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.